After the death of Yehuda and the defeat of his army, was defeated by the Greek army, the rebellion continued. Yonatan decided to continue the rebellion in spite of the fact that Yehuda was killed and the army was defeated. But he couldn't stay in the mountains of Bethel. He had to run away from Bakchides, and he came to this place. He came to the desert of Tekoa. He came to the desert of Tekoa, and here he had to hide in the caves of this wadi. This is Wadi Tekoa. For 2 years he fought with Bakchides. But here, after they came to this place, to this desert, another disaster happened. They sent the families, they took with them from Beit El, they took the families and they sent the families to the Nabateans on the mountains of Moab, on the eastern side of the Dead Sea. And there the Nabateans killed all the families of the Hasmoneans, and their commander, the commander of that delegation was Yohanan. He was also killed by the Nabateans. But Yonatan decided not to give up, not to surrender. In spite of all these disasters, the death of Yehuda and the death of Yohanan and the defeat, he decided to revenge, and he went with his people to the mountains of Moab. There he found the Nabateans celebrating in a wedding, and he killed many of them as a revenge. And this act encouraged many people to join him. And for 2 years he fought with Bakchides. Bakchides put his camp on top of this mountain, and Yonatan was in the caves, in the wadi, in the valley. Bakchides could not find Yonatan. Yonatan went with his soldiers at night to courageous and brave commando actions, and after 2 years he succeeded to win, to defeat Bakchides. Let us read a few verses from the book of the Maccabees. For many days Bakchides tried to catch Yonatan, but to no avail. He was not successful. Whenever Bakchides arrived in the wilderness, Yonatan and his men would ambush and attack him, killing many of his men, of Bakchides. Finally, Bakchides despaired of the war with Yonatan. He got tired because he realized that the Jews are stubborn, the Jews are courageous, and he decided to return to his land. He made a peace agreement with Yonatan, returned all the captives he had taken from the land of Judea, and revoked all the privileges he had given the Jewish Hellenizers, the Jewish supporters of the Greek. And so Bakchides left with the Greek army. So Yonatan could get out of the caves. He went to Michmas, north of Jerusalem, and from there he went to Jerusalem in order to inaugurate, to purify again the temple that was contaminated after the death of Yehuda. So come with me to the mountains of Yerushalayim with Yonatan in order to describe the victory of Yonatan and the re-purification of the temple in Yerushalayim. Come with me. After the success of Yonatan in the wilderness of Tekoa, Bakchides left the land of Israel with his army, and Yonatan could build an army. He went from Tekoa to the mountain of Michmas. There he stayed for several years and built a huge army of about 40,000 soldiers. With this army, he decided the time has come to go back to Yerushalayim and to purify the temple. Let us read few sentences from the book of the Maccabees. After Bakchides left the land, Yonatan could go to Michmas. There he built an army, and he gave his support to Alexander Balas, who in return appointed him as high priest in Jerusalem. On the festival of Sukkot, in the year 160 according to the Greek count, Yonatan entered the holy temple and began to officiate, wearing the special clothing of the high priest. Here we see the Temple Mount, and Yonatan came to the Temple Mount and became the high priest. He immediately began restoring Jerusalem to its former glory and rebuilding its walls, and the city was once again filled with Torah and joy. This Hanukkah is the Hanukkah that succeeded to last for 200 years until the destruction of the Second Temple, because we know that the celebration of Yehuda lasted only a few years. After the death of Yehuda, the Greek army came back to Yerushalayim, and again the temple was contaminated. Only after Yonatan, the celebration of Yonatan, the Greek did not come again to Yerushalayim. But Yonatan succeeded to win all the wars. In the end, he was killed, not in war, but he was tempted to sign a peace agreement with Tryphon, the Greek king, and in the ceremony of signing the peace agreement, Tryphon killed him and later his two sons. But the death of Yonatan, as opposed to the death of Yehuda, did not finish the rebellion, because he left a big army of 40,000 soldiers. And with that army, with those soldiers, Shimon went to Jaffa, they succeeded to defeat the Greek army, and later came back to Yerushalayim and established an independent Jewish state. So now come with me to Jaffa in order to describe the war of Shimon against the Greek army and the establishment of the Jewish state. Come with me.